Hey everybody, Alvaro Cortez Jr., aka Lance Danger here, and I just wanted to talk really quickly about Shortcomings. I saw it yesterday and it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Not yesterday, but the day before yesterday. And it was a great adaptation of the Adrian Tomine. Um, I guess you can call it graphic novel. It was really like a collected edition from his Optic Nerve series, that particular story. And I really enjoyed it. Being a fan of the original story that came out in the comics, I was a little worried about how well it was going to come out. The director, I forget his name right now. He was the guy from Fresh Off the Boat and whatnot. Richard Park or something like that. I'm not too sure his name. It was his directorial debut as well. So yeah, there were like I didn't have like much expectations going into it. As a comic book fan, you really shouldn't have like expectations going into these movie adaptations. Kind of like if you're a fan of a novel or something like that. Sometimes the adaptation doesn't end up being as good as you wish it would be, or maybe you build up too high of expectation. So I went into it without that big of expectations. Tried to leave the fanboy in me at home, um, watching the movie, because again I didn't want to compare it too much to the original graphic novel, and I loved it. Actually, I think it was a little more balanced out than the graphic novel was. The main character Ben, I always felt like he was such a jerk, and while he was a jerk as well in the movie, somehow he came across kind of like a more likable jerk compared to the original version in the comic. And Miko, she was probably more of a jerk in the movie than she was in the graphic novel. I don't want to give too many spoilers if you haven't read the comic or seen the movie, but even though you can understand where she's coming from, she definitely had her flaws. But I feel like they gave her even more flaws in the movie, which kind of oddly enough balanced the story out more compared to the original graphic novel. And of course, the side characters were all funny and well done in the movie as well. There's definitely some elements that were added in the movie, which again, sometimes you have to add certain elements so that it can flow better in a movie compared to like just on a comic book page. But I think the changes that were done actually helped flesh out the story even more to an extent. Adrian Tomine was actually the writer of the movie script as well, so that definitely helped a whole lot too, as well, to have him being involved creatively in the movie as well. So it still has his voice, it's still his characters, and the director actually did a very, very good job, especially for a first time that he directs a movie. Like, you can pretty much see all his influences are worn on his sleeve in the movie, but at the same time, you kind of see the influences on the sleeve of Adrian Tomine when he did the original comic version as well. So, it's almost in a way captures that essence also, creatively speaking, that they both are relatively heavy with their influences. The director named Francis Ha, and Marriage Story, of course, as being two of the main movies that inspired him to direct this movie of Shortcomings, which you can definitely tell. You can definitely see those influences. I personally also kind of felt vibes of Ghost World and High Fidelity, kind of like those late 90s, early 2000s indie kind of movies, which is great. I love those kind of movies too. So if you're a fan of Adrian Tomine, if you're a fan of this optic nerve, Shortcomings, or if you just want to see something different, I would definitely tell you to check out Shortcomings. It was really well made, in my opinion. For my taste, it was a very, very good movie. I really enjoyed it, and you know, uh, I don't even know what else to say except that I really, really enjoyed the movie. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it more than the original graphic novel. I would say I probably enjoyed it about the same. Like it's hard. It's still the same story, but the few changes that they made did make sense to contribute to that original story as well. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I hope I see you next time.